Whoa! Welcome back to Film Recall. Let's talk about Suspiria. Suspiria is a remake to the original Suspiria from horror master Dario Argento. Suspiria follows a student who gets accepted into a dance academy that has some sinister forces behind it. The original Suspiria is a classic Italian horror movie that's unlike any other horror movie I've ever seen. It's an incredible looking movie visually and has gruesomely elaborate death scenes. The colors are vibrant, the set design looks like a dark Disney castle. Dario Argento was inspired by Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and he wanted to make a truly scary Walt Disney movie. It feels like a fairy tale. It feels like one of those grim fairy tale stories. This Suspiria is not really a remake, and I'm happy about that. It reimagines the original story and then it veers off in its own directions. And I like to see remakes take a completely different approach. If you can't beat the original, just do something different with it. First off, this has a much different tone. The vibrant colors are completely gone. This is a much darker and colder story that's not necessarily scary, but it's very disturbing and it has the creepiest images I've seen all year. The visuals are jaw-dropping. There were several show-stopping moments that they just made me want to cringe. It's really gross to watch as these bodies contort and twist, and the sound design is fantastic. There are several scenes that just sent shivers down my spine, and it creeps under your skin in a way that's going to leave a lasting impression. It's a really uncomfortable movie to watch. The acting all around is pretty amazing in these scenes. Dakota Johnson picks the strangest movies to be in, but she does a great job, and I think this is her best role yet. She plays Susie, and this is a much different take on Susie from the original movie, who was more shy and innocent to what's going on in this dance academy. Here you pretty well know the big secret right off the bat. I'm not going to say what it is just in case you don't know what it is going into the movie, but it's not a secret in this movie, which I thought was an interesting change. The original movie was more about what's going on here, and this movie is more about why is this going on. Tilda Swinton continues to prove why she's one of the most underrated actresses out there. Chloe Grace Moretz is also good, but she's barely in this movie. She has a really small role. Mia Goth is also a really underrated actress. Overall, the cast sold these horrifying moments and created a real sense of dread that by the end of the movie, it's almost exhausting to watch. In a good way, this movie did its job. In the way that the original Suspiria is a really beautiful looking horror movie, this is too, but in the opposite way. It's much darker looking, but the camera work is as good as the best horror movies out there. And the visuals are backed by an incredible score from Tom York from Radiohead. It's not as iconic as the score from Goblin for the original movie. It's more subdued, but it's fantastic in its own right, and it fits the tone of this movie. It's definitely stuck in my head. It's one of my favorite pieces of music for the year, and I'll be listening to the soundtrack. If you're wanting a traditionally scary movie, something like Halloween or A Nightmare on Elm Street, you may not like Suspiria. It's not the movie you think it's gonna be based on the trailer. It's much more of a slow burn story that lets the tension build and creep under your skin, but when it does get creepy, hold on. Whether you like this or not is totally up to what type of a horror movie you're wanting to see. I liked Suspiria a lot, but not everyone will, and because of that, I can't flat out recommend it. If you liked Hereditary or Annihilation or Rosemary's Baby or The Shining, then this movie is for you. It's not scary in the traditional horror sense, and it's a movie that's going to be analyzed probably in the same ways that The Shining still is to this day. This reimagining of Suspiria is all about the atmosphere and the creepy visuals, and if you let it build, then it's definitely gonna sink under your skin. I'm gonna give Suspiria an 8 out of 10. So what did you think of the original Suspiria? If you saw it, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe for more movie reviews every week.